Hello, my name is Russell Bradley. I'm Head of Pastoral Care in Legacy. My background is, as a young boy, I was a Sunday school teacher at 16. 18, I started a youth club in the church. And for all my life, I've worked in the church. And for a lot of my life, also, I worked with the youth service. And I think the last probably 10, 15 years, I worked in social services and worked with young offenders as well. And gained lots of experience, not only working with the young people, but working with parents and family and extended family as well, you know. Right, according to everybody else, not much. But the role of pastoral care is to make sure that people are appreciated or feel that they're appreciated within that company, that they're not just viewed as somebody coming to make numbers up within a company, but somebody who is valued as a worker and as a colleague and as a person in life as well. And for a lot of the younger, we have quite a few apprentices, and for them as well is this opportunity to learn, not just learn what everybody imagines in life, which is to learn how to do a job or something like that. But what a lot of employees are looking for are skills beyond that, skills of being able to hold a conversation, hold somebody's eye properly, interview skills, things you learn there, but skills that become natural to us rather than unnatural in an interview sort of instance. So these skills are hopefully learned in a safe environment, you know. And a lot of that is to do with hidden learning. So I hope the apprentices don't know this, but there is a lot of hidden learning that go on, and we share with each other, and we learn from each other in a way that isn't threatening, isn't coming from I'm a teacher, you're a pupil, you will learn this stuff. No, it's much more of a respect sort of learning. When we respect somebody or we like somebody, we're far more willing to listen from them and to take things into life, especially if they are interested in you, you know, as a person. I think one of the key elements of being pastoral care is the listening skill. Now, I often tell young people, or anybody who comes into me, if you do want to chat, if you want to share, if you want to get something off your chest, yes, I will listen, but you'll have to remind me to listen, because I'm a talker. I love talking, and in case I could look 10 to the dozen. And so I'm quite happy to listen, but sometimes I have to be told by the person. I will remind them straight away as soon as we're having an interview or something like that. Please tell me to shut up if you want me to talk, you know. So yes, listening skills I think is key. And something surprising, I don't think people realise, when you are on a journey with somebody, anybody in life, young or old, and you become part of their lives and become part of that journey, you have to be able to look after yourself. You have to be able to sleep in the nights and the weekend. And so having a peace in your own life is so important in pastoral care, or any job, I imagine, working with people. There's so many, it's not just with people, I think it's to do with life in general. We seem to be living in an age which is quite stressful, so I imagine that any job we do that is stressful, it's a lesson for us all to learn and to keep reminding ourselves, because I think we forget, and that is that we are as important as each other, and we need that opportunity to rest, to play, to enjoy life, and that life is far more than just a job, you know. We are far more than that. We're not just the one thing, you know. We're far deeper, amazing creatures than that, you know. Oh, yes, absolutely. The employees will tell you themselves how they have suffered. I have suffered myself. People do. We're human beings. We are creatures that love being around each other. There are some who don't, but mostly we do. There are times we need that space, but on the whole, as much as people can be a pain in our life, they're normally the answer sometimes as well, you know. And having that taken away from us, I think that's been a struggle. When you work in a work environment, the body language, being personable, being able to crack a joke, tongue-in-cheek is far more easily seen than on a Zoom call. People only exist in a small little box on a Zoom call. and so much is lost, even on something like this little video here, there's so much that you're not able to see that is going on, and trying to communicate personable things, effectual things, it's much more difficult to do. There's so many senses are lost, and so much is learned through these other senses, and so much is learned in that life that helps us at 16, 17, when we start to look outside of our parents, outside of our family, we look into others to put into our lives. That's been a struggle for everybody. So I can only speak of myself, but many have shared with me as well that it's been a struggle. But one of the great advantages of pastoral care in this company is that I'm peripatetic and I can travel. I did often during lockdown. I'd meet people in their gardens, and basically we could talk and share till the cows came home, as long as I had a cup of tea. With pastoral care, and it has been looked at far more nowadays, it's getting there, companies are looking at it as well, because ultimately companies are out to make a profit. Generally, if they don't make a profit, they go out of business. It's a simple rule in life. And there are huge benefits to companies having a happy workforce. And I think people are, when they are respected for more than just being an employee, that will contribute to being a happy worker, a happy workforce, Also, there is the assumption that education or learning or knowledge is key to life and to being successful in life. But you can have degrees, you can have a fantastic education, and if you don't have what I would call emotional skills, emotional resilience, emotional intelligence, then I think you're going to struggle. Because you might have the skill, you might have a wonderful education and the knowledge is there, but you won't be able to carry that in any given workplace or environment if you are suffering with anxiety, if you're not able to get over yourself, if you've got a voice in your head that is constantly derogatory and never thinks of good of other people but never of self. And if we can't get to terms with that in our life at a young age, then we're likely to carry that for the rest of our life and not utilize the amazing talents that we've learned or are innate to us. Sometimes people are born with some amazing talents, and others we have to learn hard at it, work hard at it. But it'll count for nothing if we're not able to emotionally deal with the things that come our way in life. I've gone through trauma in my own life, and having gone through that trauma, it shapes how you see life and see things. And I lost the drive to that's not the right word, I was thinking of to better yourself, to self-actualize, if people are into Maslow's hierarchy, but to climb the ladder, to do better and to have ambition, It doesn't seem to be in my life anymore, and I'm okay with that, I'm okay with being just who I am. But I do have ambition in other people. I want to see people succeed. Having part of that journey is enough for me. Being part of their journey to overcome an illness, to get to grips with disability, anxieties and things like that, to have the actual opportunity to learn, and then to thrive. We have a saying here that it's good to survive. Surviving is good, and sometimes that's what we have to do in life, but it's better to thrive. And that's my goal. My ultimate goal is to see people thriving in life and doing well in all areas of their life. And when I'm shared stories of that happening in people's life, that's when I'm most content.
Perfect.
Want to take one then?